Tell us more.
The original Simon Cowell is a guy named Mickey Most, who is one of the great record producers of all time. He's from England and discovered so many bands, but maybe the most important was the Animals, who I think really informed it, in a big way, how American rock music was played, written and played. And also Herman's Hermits and a bunch of other people.
Moody Blues.
And Moody Blues. He was on a TV series that was very much like Idol in the early days, a kind of Britain's Got Talent show where he was the nasty judge. He was the guy that would tell it like it is, Mickey Most. So he was the original Simon Cowell. The reason why we're talking about Mickey Most, who passed away 7 years ago, is because he used to work out of a studio in London called Morgan, which was home studio for him and also for a guy named Mutt Lange, who you may or may not have heard of. And the studio, it was a very interesting place. It had a bar, a hot bar, so a place where you could get drinks and hot food. And that would be a place where a young guy like me, who was just starting out in the business, could meet some of my heroes, including Mickey Most. So at like 23 years of age, when I was producing $1 Billion Babies, I may not even have been 23, maybe 22 or something like that. We were in London working in Morgan. I decided we were going to go work in London because I wanted that sound, and I would have dinner every night with Mickey. I would go there just to be there when Mickey would have dinner. And Mickey had an approach to production. He'd come to the studio in his white Rolls Royce. He'd sit down at his table in the bar. They'd bring him his champagne. Then he would have a lovely dinner. Then he'd have a lovely bottle of wine, the most expensive wine on the menu, whatever it was. And then he would go upstairs, and for 3 hours he would record, and then he'd go home. and I said,
you learned that.
I said, dude, this guy is my hero.
Wow.
I mean, what a life, right? And people everywhere he went, yes, Mr. Most, no, Mr. Most. I love that. But anyway, he happened to be working with Donovan at the time that we were doing $1 Billion Babies, and there's a song on there called $1 Billion Babies, which is a little bit about Alice likes to play a sort of split personality a lot of times, with the kind of evil twin in the attic and stuff. So this song was written that way, and Alice was going to play both characters, but then I got the idea that it would be so cool if we could get Donovan, who was like Mr. Folk, love, groovy, peace, love, the
hurdy-gurdy man.
The hurdy-gurdy man, like total hippie dude, to come down with the shock rockers, the glam rockers, right, and do his first kind of hard rock debut. So we stole him from Mickey, who lent him to me he said, you have 1/2 an hour, and here's the results.
Classic Rock 101.
Alice, I did not know.
Featuring Donovan.
That was Donovan. I always thought that was, some guy in his band who had an English accent.
How many more years do I have to be in classic rock before I find things out like that? Do we have to get every producer that's ever done every classic rock
Well, you could
album?
start with reading the credits.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember
I'm gonna
those?
try that.
All that little writing that's on the back of records? Yeah.
Well, I did that this morning. I did some research and was dizzy because you're just involved with so many things.
And you're on the iPhone, and Bob Ezrin is on the iPad.
Yeah, well.
You love that, don't you?
I'm cool.
Yeah. Well,
that's why I have the iPad.
Hey, listen, I just went from the flip phone, for Pete's sakes.
Well,
the
that's
transition
pathetic.
I know, it's crazy.
That is pathetic. So rock is not the only thing that's classic around here, I guess.
Where technology comes to die. So the iPad, tell us a little bit about the iPad.
I love this thing. Can I show it to the audience?
Yeah.
Okay, here, take a look. So when you turn it on here.
Actually, you'll be able to do it in this camera right over here.
I can turn it on. Well, I'm not going to waste your time. You
I
can go online.
Who's in your email? What rock stars are emailing you?
Oh, no, I'm not telling you.
Yeah. Peter Gabriel?
Come on. Certainly not for free. I'm not telling
Really?
you. Yeah, absolutely.
How about if we mention the Nimbus School of Recording Arts again?
Which I understand.
And where is the Nimbus School of Recording Arts, by the way?
Well, you have to tell me.
It's actually in Vancouver.
Yeah.
It's in Vancouver, and it's where young people can go to find out how to compete in this very dynamic industry. Because it's right now, the interesting thing about the music business, people talk, you said record company's gone, this is gone, that's gone. The reality is nothing's gone. It's just changing. Mm-hmm. And there's a big flush happening. It's kind of like the days of the old buggies transitioning into cars, you know. There was still a vehicle with four wheels. It was just a different way of doing it. And all the old guard disappeared and an entire new industry was born, which was far more robust than the one that it replaced.
How is sound design changing now? I mean, obviously, we're looking at your iPad.
Yeah.
You'll go into a production
Well, you know,
room,
one of the fantastic, I didn't bring my briefcase, but one of the fantastic things about tools now, the tools that are available to people, is that they're so portable. And that's great. One of the bad things about it is most people don't have a clue how to use them properly. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so easy now to make something that kind of sounds good that people take that for being good, and that's not good. Mm-hmm. We go back to what I said earlier, which is that you have to be excellent at what you do. And in order to develop excellence, you got to do like everybody else. You know, it's like if you want to be a golfer, you're a golfer, you got to practice.
Yeah.
You just got to get out there and practice. And somebody has to show you the technique. You didn't just pick up a club and suddenly become a golfer. You took lessons, you watched videos, you learned. So the same thing is true about making music, and particularly true about making records, you know, about recording. So that's the idea behind the Nimbus School, is that we actually do this for a living. We're not theoretical. You know, Garth and me and the guys that and ladies that work at the school are all pros, and what we're trying to do is we're recreating the atmosphere in which we sort of grew up. Like when I was working for Jack Richardson at Nimbus, I was 19, just turning 20 when I got my job for Jack Richardson, who would sit me down and teach me about what a microphone does and how to place it and what kind of tape to use and how to record, how to use a compressor and all that stuff that I
noticed you haven't popped a P this morning as well.
Well, excellent mic technique.
I mean, I'm the only guy that can actually pop an F. So